everyone.
Oh
Welcome to Gloryhoundd. Oh, I guess not Gloryhoundd and the Uninvited Gamers. I don't know what show I'm on today.
I'd back that.
I'd back that.
I'd back that with Gloryhoundd.
And the Uninvited Gamers.
That's right.
DrGloryHogg.
Greg Dickson.
I mean,
I've
you
done,
can
like,
skip your part, but I have to be in there.
Too
Yeah,
many
you gotta be in there.
intros this
People
this
tune in for
week.
you.
So
Too many things.
Too many things
Too
all
many
over the
cooks.
place.
So popular. And I have
So
too much going
populous.
on.
Well,
Everyone loves
you know, I can't help that everybody loves
me. I know
me.
this is new for you, but I've been very popular for a long time. And it's
Have
hard.
you?
Yeah.
Why are you petting her?
Because I wanted to know that she's, valued.
People are watching.
You know what, Chris? We have at least 1,200 versions of Munchkin. So, I mean,
yeah.
and there's always more. There's always
yeah.
more.
It's like the regular Munchkin plus all expansions plus all re-released new expansions plus
Plus
the deluxe
dice,
boards plus
plus
artist
this,
versions
plus
plus.
that.
We went to RinCon this year, and she wanted to donate some stuff, and she dropped off like 6 of those tentacles, like they're the foam. And like the foam tentacles, or what are they? Plush tentacles from Steve Jackson.
Too many cooks in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
I'm not
We can
actually
talk
sitting
about
on a
Munchkin
chair.
Crazy Cook, but I don't think that's what
This
people
is
are
just
here
the
for
right
today.
amount of cooks. If you use less than 3 people to cook your meals, you're a peasant.
What?
I said too many cooks. He's responding to what I said.
Oh, you're still
Awkward.
a peasant.
So awkward.
Peasant.
I'm just sitting on a pile of Steve Jackson games, actually.
Thank
I'm
you
Just
sitting
in
so
a chair.
much,
I'm sitting on a
Daniel,
pile
thank you
of,
so
of
much.
the
Hey,
new Illuminati
Are you guys
coins.
ready?
No.
Are you guys ready?
Are we live?
I'm
We
just,
are.
Oh my gosh! I've just been.
I've just been riffing over here.
This is
right.
how I am.
All right. So, hello, Chris. Hello, Ryan.
I'm sitting on a pile of $100
Thanks so
bills.
much for watching, Daniel. Make sure I got everybody in there. Okay, so today we're going to talk about some awesome Kickstarters
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we
still
had.
listening to
I'm
our
so
background
excited
music.
about this first one here. You're still thinking about the background music?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to scoot closer to you. So, oh, maybe I can just move this screen a little bit. So,
Use your access for him petting you.
there we go.
Aw,
There we
look at
go.
these two lovebirds.
There we go. Okay. Today we have Ada Lovelace and Babbage, or I guess Lovelace
I
and
think it's
Babbage.
just called Lovelace
Yeah.
and Babbage. Yeah.
This is by Artana Games, and this is for 8+, 2 to 4 players, 15 to 30 minutes. This, I believe, is already funded. I mean, it
Yeah.
has
It's
to be.
funded.
It's already
Oh, yeah.
funded.
It's like 5 times
It's like
funded.
crazy funded.
Oh,
So
wait. That's way more than 5 times. I should not do this math game.
this,
They wanted 5,000. They got 54, not 54,000. It's like 5 times, guys.
It's like 1% funded.
It's almost 100% funded now.
so what were you guys' first impressions of this? I was lucky enough to actually play this game, and so was Greg. But how do you feel about the campaign?
That just showed how unlucky I am. She's like, we
Not
were
so much
extremely
that
lucky.
we were lucky
Yeah.
as you were unlucky.
Yeah, he was unable to play because he must watch the child that we co-produced.
Yeah, and DrGloryHogg doesn't like the math, so
That's not true.
I'm kidding.
It is pretty. It is very mathy.
No, so here's my thing about math.
Okay.
I like practical math. When they start talking about irrational numbers and unreal numbers, I'm like, come
Oh,
on,
yeah,
guys.
no.
You're just making math up just to make math.
You're just
Stop.
making math hard because of reasons.
This doesn't have
God.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is
No.
pretty straightforward. I mean, it's mathy, but it's not complex. It's all stuff you learn in elementary
When I
school.
looked at
Right.
this, though, I was like, oh, yeah, I know why she likes this. It's got, like, computer programming and math and moving little gears around.
and it's
I'm like,
real time, which I like.
super
Yes,
nerdy.
But here's the thing with the real time that I really liked, because I know a lot of people might
Real
be looking
time.
at this and being like, oh my God, a real time math game. Like, I'm horrible at math. But I like the fact that the real time portion of this game does not start until the first person finishes
Right.
their programming.
Right.
So you have. Like, if you're playing this with a bunch of kids, you have, like, a million years before you get to that point. Like,
wow,
it's...
that's a lot of
but
years.
I'm saying it kind of goes off of, you
Yeah.
know, the people at the
I
table.
wanna-
and
I wanna
how
play
be
the-
different
skilled.
depending
I
on
want
the
to play with a
group.
bunch of
Right,
kids so I
right.
can just lock it down real quick. I'm like, you guys got 1 minute,
Boom,
go.
1 minute, go. Math.
Time test. Oh, look, it's my short replacements here. Charlie Bink.
Well, I really like the fact
Charlie
that
Bink's in the house.
He's watching. I know he actually just activated Facebook
fancy,
just to be here today.
Did he activate Facebook just to be
Yeah.
here? So, but what about like the components and stuff like that? I mean,
The components, as far as the art and the boards, everything looks really nice. I thought it was a roll and write when I first looked at it.
exactly. Whenever I first looked at this, I was like, another roll and ride. I don't know. And
I
then
played 2 of them.
and then I, got to play it, and I was like, dang.
I've still only
like
played
this.
Welcome To for roll and rights.
What's up,
It's
Charlie?
not even technically a roll and right.
No. Well, it
What
does
up,
look very
homies?
reminiscent of a roll and write, though.
Yeah, this is not a roll and write.
No.
If that turns you off, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It's a real time. You're filling in your sheet, but it's not. There's no dice rolling. It's really just making these equations work so you can add up or subtract to certain numbers and activate these abilities.
Right, because you can only activate those cards if you hit those numbers
If you
in
hit
your
those totals,
programming.
yeah.
So like if I was going to program my first thing A1, plus or minus 1 off of the number, and everybody starts with the same number, and it's kind of cool to see how everybody's number changes and
Yeah.
the different combinations that they go through.
When everyone has
As
Well,
they're
it's
their own,
playing
whatever
this
math
game.
makes sense in their head, right?
Right.
Because you're
Well,
looking at it, you're
exactly.
like, oh, I want to get to 5, so I'm going to do -20, and there I'm at 5. Like,
Right.
but everyone also has their own private pool of people that only they can access.
Yeah.
So they're going to be incentivized to go for different totals as
Different
well
totals
because of
around,
those.
yeah. Hmm.
that's cool.
And
I bet you it actually is a lot more fun to play than it looks based off of all this math talk.
Well, exactly. And that was kind of it because I
Hashtag
went
math
into
talk.
this going, oh man, like I am not fast at math. Like I like math, but I am not fast at all. But I still ended up pulling out the win in this game, and I was super excited because
Which is what's important.
That's right. That's 100% the number one thing that's important. I pull out the win. I mean, no.
I was
But-
unlucky to play, remember?
Despite the fact that I am not very fast at math, I was still able to maneuver through everything and win at this game, which I think just kind of shows that like anybody can play this. Like you don't have to
Anybody.
be great at math.
It's not calculus. It's arithmetic.
Right.
It's
Right,
add
it's
20
adding-
to 11, and then subtract 5, and then add 10
Well,
more.
I like
mean, it's
as you get
not-
to round 3, 4, and 5, like you add
yeah,
more
your options increase.
more programming
Yeah.
nodules or whatever you call them.
So the
More
game
flexibility.
changes with that.
And then it's
yeah.
kind of like that idea of Welcome to, where like you want to hit a bunch of different check marks, but also specialize in certain ones and make the most points.
right. I really liked this game. So
Can you show off the score pad? Do we have a close up of that or not really? I don't know if
there
they
might
do.
be one on the page here.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
So as you can see, you're wanting to get influence, which are the things on the very
I
bottom.
like how you're just pointing at our audience, as you guys out there can see.
Hey, forget about it. Hey, look at the bottom.
You want to point like towards the stuff, as you
Okay.
can see.
As you
well,
can-
not
this is-
at me.
Well, this is way smoother. I'm glad we stopped everything for
Yeah.
this. Now no one will know that I didn't know how the cameras work.
Spend 3 minutes on
Wow.
that. shall
As you can see,
we? Anyway, so
you want to get a little bit of everything, but as you go into rounds like 3, 4, and 5, you start getting points for using the programming codes in those particular slots, in the C, D, and E slot, which is kind of cool. You want to, so it kind of makes you it incentivizes you to use those new ones. So it keeps it kind of fresh. You're always trying to do new math in your head. You can't just go, oh, I know how to get to this number easily.
and as the game evolves, you're going to go for different bonuses because
Right.
you're going to see, oh, this guy's got that one
well,
locked up.
and your patrons change every time too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I started talking about patrons, I started thinking about microbrew at first.
I like the educational aspect too. I like that it's
Yeah,
it
how do
teaches you a little bit of
How
history.
do I know the name Ada Lovelace, but I didn't know why.
Well, it's not just her. They've got a whole bunch of early.
I don't care about the rest of them.
Okay.
No, I've heard her name before, but I don't remember why. It must have been in a movie, because that's where I get all my education from, is from movies.
Okay, so
Like Pearl Harbor, that taught me a lot.
Greg,
It's a documentary. I want this one
Practically.
for sure. Yeah,
You want
back.
this
I
one?
want to back this. Yeah.
you want to back that? Okay.
$20 too.
We-
Have we said that yet? It's a steal.
Yeah, it's $20.
Yeah, $20.
I'm just going to say we've already backed it. I'm sure people could already see that whenever you clicked on it.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
already backed this game.
We backed it at the $36 level.
36
Oh, look
bucks.
at you
We,
guys.
We were just like, take our
right.
money. Apparently,
Yeah.
we really want this.
Well, I wanted the whiteboards.
Apparently, we really.
I
want
wanted the
Well,
whiteboards
This is one of the
for
ones that
it.
she championed because she'd played it already, and so she really, really wanted it. So she didn't ask. It was just on there. I just woke up
Do
and
you
it
like
was just on
real-time
there.
games usually? Are you into that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind 'em.
I
Yeah,
like
I
'em.
mean, I like real-time
It's
games.
usually a plus for me.
If I had been told about this game ahead of time, I would have thought, oh, that's a nice idea, but I'm not going to be good at it. I don't want it. But the fact that I was able to play it and I didn't feel like that timer was a huge rush because you're waiting for everybody to finish anyway, and then once that first person finishes, then you start the timer, just made all the difference for me. And it was a lot of fun, and you were able to affect other people's boards and stuff and what they were doing, and I really liked that too because it wasn't just you focusing on your stuff. Like you were trying to also collect things or make numbers that
Make
made it so you
numbers.
could use cards
When a
that
daddy
affect
number
other people.
and a
That's
mommy
right.
number love each other.
That's right,
They can make
absolutely.
little baby numbers.
And then you win the game like that. You by making numbers. I mean,
when a 6 loves a
Back this game and make numbers all night long.
Let me
So,
make numbers to
yeah.
you, baby.
So we barked. Wow, we
barked?
barked. We barked.
We
We
barked.
You were gonna
barked
say you
this
bartered.
at $30.
we
But
barked this. Gloryhound barks this, guys.
$20.
She's really
this
taking
is
her
a
name
steal,
to
guys.
heart.
Like I'm gonna have to say this
Are
is a
you
steal.
gonna oink this? Game?
I'd bark this.
They're
it's
1,082%
oinkalicious.
complete here. Okay, so next up,
We backed it.
Hollywood Deathrace.
Hollywood Deathrace.
Number 2. Oh wait, wrong show.
Like what? This has to have a soundtrack to it. I feel like you need to be playing some like Last Action Hero soundtrack or
Well, then
something.
people wouldn't be able to hear us. So,
No, I mean like when we get this game.
when we get this game, you're
Well, I
already
guess you
sold on
jumped
it.
to backing.
You're
The
already
first thing I thought about this one is how did they manage to do all of these IP? Like they're
cleverly-
just off a little bit. It's
Cleverly.
Same way-
parody, but it is really
Same way
similar.
that Cool Mini or Not does all theirs. It's
But
parody
true.
level.
the Batman guy and stuff.
It's
I mean,
Catman.
It's Catman.
Don't be ridiculous.
Totally different, Greg. God.
It's not David Hasselhoff. It's like David Hasselhoff.
I'm just waiting for this to like get pulled down because they get sued or something.
No, I don't think they will though because it's considered parody. It's a
The one
comedy
that
license.
looks the most similar is the like Autobot symbol. I almost wanted to like screen cap and zoom in because I was like, that looks. Look at it. It looks just like it. I'm surprised they can pull that
so
off.
Chad Elkins made a good point. He said you got to auto back Lovelace and Babbage because the designer. It's Scott Alms, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
We
true.
didn't even
Which
Spot
mention
we
on.
that.
really
Yeah.
like all this tiny epic stuff.
yeah,
So
so
I
This
didn't
is
even,
Tiny Epic Math.
when I saw that I was like, cool. Yeah, Tiny Epic Math,
mhm.
Tiny Epic Lovelace.
Tiny epic.
That sounds like something else.
Okay, so first
I
impressions
need to
of
get that
Hollywood
website.
Death Race.
I love the nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
It instantly is trying to appeal to our age group because it's E.T. and Transformers and Back to the Future and Batman and Scarface and Rambo, all the stuff.
And then
that
like
we
you get
grew
like
up
I think
on.
like the Terminators, like the unlock, not the Terminator, but like the finisher or the follower.
like Schmerminator.
Yeah,
like
something
they,
like
they
that.
change it just
I,
a little bit.
So for me, I feel like this game is just going to be fun. Like I feel like it's going to be a fun game to play. You're going to be
I
like,
think so,
I
too.
bump your car. It's like playing Mario Kart, but with like 80s heroes,
Well,
like on a board game, and you get to bump people, you get to move them, you get to jump over. Like in the DeLorean, you get to like fly over people. Where's
What-
the Dukes of Hazzard?
what
Why
was
isn't
that?
in this?
What was that? Hasbro game? Was it Road?
Wacky Racers?
No, Road Warrior was the Hasbro one, right? Was it? It was Hasbro,
The one we
right?
looked at last time? No.
No,
I'm not sure what you mean.
not Wacky Racers. I'm talking about the Hasbro. I think
Russian
it was Hasbro.
Bash?
No, and it was cars, and you're racing the cars, and then once they get to the end of the board, you flip the board, and there's like stuff that you have
Oh, that's
to
an
move.
older game.
Yeah, it's super old. It was like in the 80s or something
know.
like
It's
that.
not like
I can't
Thunder
remember what
Road
it's-
or anything,
that.
is it?
That's it. Thunder Road. Thunder Road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of a Grail game.
It reminds me
Okay.
of Thunder Road
But
with the
with
way that these
upgraded?
boards are,
But
but,
that was
like completely upgraded, where like you can affect other people's
I
things.
can't wait
and you
to
can
fly.
push people into
I can't wait to
stuff
fly
and,
through a
like-
bunch of like face huggers and have them pop out or something. Because like
Yeah,
that's in here.
Simon
That's
is
the
making
alien.
Wacky Racers, and it doesn't look as anywhere near as good as this. Like,
This one seems like it's more
This-
Oh, it's like an '80s movie. It's more adrenaline. It's all heart, baby. Heart,
I agree.
adrenaline, cocaine. We're just gonna get to the end. It's just.
Not this again.
It looks like it's just going to be a lot of fun. Hollywood Death Race just looks like, as you're playing, you're going to have fun smashing into the cars. You're going to pick 2 cars. So you're in your ET phone home. You're like, Elliot. And you're like flying over somebody. And the A-team's coming over. It's like, boom, and just bashing into you. I think that's gonna be,
you know,
Yeah.
I also like the fact that they have one pledge level for this. Like, you're gonna get everything you want in
What do you
one
think,
level.
Leslie?
You don't have to choose from extra stuff.
Nope.
Like, it's just gonna be the one thing, you know.
I like it. Yeah, so obviously I'm going to back it. I really want to back this one. I like that it comes with extra characters. They just unlocked like Ghostbusters, I think, as the last pledge.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, because they're at 50 something now. I think like
The
54,000.
Ghoul Hunter, not
The
Ghostbusters.
Ghoul
The
Hunters,
Ghoul
right?
Hunter.
But it's
Ghoul
Bill
Hunter.
Murray. You
Different.
could have Bill Murray sign his butt cheeks.
It's what
I'm sorry. What about his butt cheeks again?
Phil
could have-
Murray or
You
something.
could have Phil Murray sign
Yeah.
the butt cheeks of that character and be like, I know it's not you, sir, but could you sign these butt cheeks? And then have him sign his figure too.
Charlie Binks says he's in too, so that's huge because
Charlie Binks in for signing people's butt cheeks?
Yeah, for signing people's butt cheeks.
Ooh,
What
I
you
wonder-
have
I
to
really
do?
like Trek in the
you
Wild.
go
Can
trekking,
you just
Trekking National
Trek in the
Park,
Parks?
In the
right
wild.
there.
Can you sign my
okay?
butt cheeks?
Slaughtered the
All
name.
right.
I did. I have it. All right, calm down.
So Chris says he's more excited for Wacky Racers.
Wacky Racers is the one that's going to be more like the cartoon characters, like Snaggletooth and like the Deputy Dog and that type of stuff. I believe.
Space Explorers. Oh well, yeah. I mean, I've looked at that a
Space
couple
Who's
times
this guy
now.
trying to plug
I don't
his
know.
stuff here?
That's Chad.
Who's this Chad guy?
All right.
Trek
so,
in the cheeks. Charlie Bink's next game. Trek in the cheeks.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I don't think
like,
I'm backing
It's like
that
the,
Over
one.
those
the
mountains,
after
man.
dark version of Trek in the
No,
Park.
I'm-
The
As you make your way
After
over
Dark
the true
version.
majestic mountains and down into the dappled valleys.
I don't want to hear about your dappled valleys. I'm out. Sorry, Charlie.
Come on, Charlie. This is
All right, all right.
We were all having fun.
Greg, would you back this?
I have played other Mario Kart-esque board games,
Okay.
like Crazy Karts by Portal, that were, to me, disappointing. So this is, at $50, it's too much of a gamble. I'm afraid it's going to be slow-moving. And these games, you want to capture that fast, frantic thing, and in a board game, that's hard to do. So I'm a little weary of it. I'd like to play it first.
I think
You take the Lovelace and Babbage timer and bam. There you go.
For me, I feel like I'm going to be more about the strategic placement of like bumping people into like,
Yeah.
face hugger eggs and stuff. Like that'll be exciting. And it's a
So,
nostalgia piece for me.
nay
He
for
says nay.
you.
He
I'm
says,
out, I'm
he
out.
says, nay.
Not
am I a
pure of
horse?
hearts.
Because you're the horse, I'm the hawk, she's the hound.
What?
Oh, that's 3 H's.
Aw.
We're Triple H. Wrecked. Sorry. That's Triple H plug.
That was my nickname in college, the horse.
The horse. I did a lot of horse in college. Is
You
that
know what?
different?
You know what?
That sounds bad both ways.
Deathrace.
As drugs
Dr.
and the
DrGloryHogg,
other
you're
way.
going to lose your Deathrace plug. So yes or no? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
I want to back this game. Even if just to paint the miniatures. I will actually paint this one because it's small
I
enough
think
that I'll
it's
get to it.
standees, isn't it?
No, it's miniatures. Scroll up.
Scroll up.
Yeah, no, it's
Do it.
The
it's
standees were for the videos that they sent out, but these are miniatures. Look
those
at
are
those.
miniatures there.
Oh, okay.
Like
you're
those
right,
are
you're right.
sick miniatures. I'm gonna have a little mini DeLorean, and I'm gonna like have it fly through stuff. It's
I
gonna
did
be
think it
amazing.
was interesting on the Tantrum House video, which is like a paid video. At one point, one of them goes, "The iconography was kind of hard to like interpret," and I was like, "Wait, aren't you guys getting paid to review this game?"
But
Like, it makes me
that's-
nervous that it's going to be clunky.
If you
know
get-
what I
if
mean?
Well,
you-
but they also mentioned in that video that the company said this is a pre-production copy.
Yeah.
A lot of that iconography is going to be like side that'll be like on the board itself, so you can look at the board and get it. Because the reason why the iconography is probably a lot is because every board has like double sides, and you depend on how you build it, it's going to make a big
Chris
difference.
points out that he's nervous about the,
The legal research
and
of
that's
it,
the
yeah.
first thing I thought too. Is some of these are so similar. What was the one? There was one, a Transformers one. Like I said before, that one was the symbol, the Autobot symbol, and everything was
Super
so
close.
similar.
There's a lot of you can get away with a lot as long as it's considered a parody.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's
Yeah.
the big thing. All you have to do is
I
argue
mean, even
that
in
it's
the-
a
They're
parody.
straight up
In the
profiting
beginning
off of these
portion of this,
images.
well-
Makes me nervous that they're gonna at some point get pulled or something.
I think
Remember
it'll
what happened
make
with
it.
Rampage? They had to like change the name. I mean, I could see something like that happening with
Yeah,
this.
that's true.
Maybe.
Okay, so for this one here,
As long as I get my copy first.
You're
Like,
like, I don't care.
I have Rampage,
I would-
and I'm never gonna call it
I have
Terrible
it
That's
too.
Evil
true.
City.
Yeah, that's true.
okay, so for this one here, I would like to back this, but I think I would like to play it first. But I'm
I
super
agree.
excited about it being like this souped-up Thunder Road sort of style game.
Yeah.
Where you're traveling down the tracks and you have lots of options of moving around and stuff and avoiding things, and then like in that Mario Kart style thing. So I would like to see this played all the way through, but
I'm
like
dead.
I am like this close from backing it. I don't know.
I'll get her
Maybe
to
maybe
back
some
it.
of their stretch goals here would like send me over.
I'll get her to back it, guys.
Because I really like the idea of this.
It'll happen.
Tune in next week to find out. Was
To
he
see,
able to
was
talk
he
her
able
into
to back
it?
that?
It will.
There's 14 days. You got 2 weeks to figure this out, man.
Still on the fence, and they'd have to reskin the entire game. That's true. Would it lose its appeal? I don't know if it would lose its appeal because I still
would
like
lose
the
some of it,
actual
for sure.
style of the game where you're traveling through, and I like their boards. I like what they
I
did
think
here with
another
the boards.
big plus too is we don't have a racing game. We don't
That's
have a
true.
single
We don't
racing
have a
game.
we personally don't have a racing
this
game,
would
so that
fill-
would fill that for
yeah.
us. Yeah.
By downforce. What? Who said that?
I don't have a racing
All right,
game.
moving on. We got a cute little game here that I found that is called Penguin Slap.
But you just slap penguins, not your spouses.
Yeah.
Remember, slap a penguin, not
You
a
don't
spouse.
actually slap people in
I don't
this
think
game.
anyone
personally.
watched this and thought, "Oh, am I supposed to slap my spouse?"
I thought you. Oh, maybe it was just me then.
Maybe that's just
Well,
you, dude.
so Penguin Slap. This one is for 8+. It's for 2 to 4 players. It lasts about 10 to 30 minutes.
Fuzzy
I
penguin.
was immediately drawn to this game, not only because of the art, but because of some of the really interesting mechanics that they had in here, where you're holding cards and you see the different colors, so you know what types of spells or what types of cards that can be affected, but you don't know what the actual card is. And then I like the fact that you put these cards down on people's little ice caps, which limits their ability to draw certain
Well, you limit
cards.
2 people when you do that because everybody draws from the
Yeah.
left and right because you have tiny flippers. So you can only
And
go left and right.
I
And
wouldn't
they're in
have-
between everybody.
I wouldn't have looked at this game specifically if it weren't for those particular mechanics in the game where I was like, wow, this could be a really, really interesting game with the way it's played.
I do like with this one, you feel like you're actually helping. Like, this is what Kickstarter was made for.
Yeah.
It was for, like,
Oh,
truly
yeah, small
independent.
company.
Yeah, these
Like-
this seems like just a couple people who were like, let's make a game and throw it on Kickstarter, not some company that's using
Oh,
it
do I
as
get to be the
Right.
bad guy this
pre-order.
time?
Oh.
I don't think I'll play it enough that it's worth backing.
Oh, I didn't say I was going to back it.
Really?
I just said if you did, you're using Kickstarter for what it was meant
I'm
for.
glad that they've got their backers because I just don't think it's something that I'd play enough that it would warrant owning it.
It
I
looks
think-
kind of just chaotic to me.
I think this game.
She looks like she's having fun. You missed the video.
Oh.
She's having a great time.
Yeah.
Watch this. He's like, what? She's like, you sucker. And he's like, oh, I'm reversing that slap back. And she's like, yeah, why reverse your reverse? And
Does
he's
it
like,
feel kind of Uno-ish to you
slap.
guys?
It does, but
But I
I
do like
like
that you can see the back of the
this.
card.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like
that it's
how you
cat
can
friendly.
see them.
look, that cat just played.
And I like limiting your draw options. Well, okay, so this is a game, maybe not necessarily for gamers, but this is a game for people that are going to a family gathering and not
Yeah.
everybody there plays board games, but
Yeah.
you don't want to lose your mind playing Uno for like the millionth time.
That's true. I would say it's probably
You
like a
know?
little bit better than like an Uno type of card game or like a Phase 10.
Right. This is something that you can get for like $20 and
15 even, I think.
is it
I
15?
think it's 15. That price point is really tempting.
Yeah, it's $15, and you can bring this to
That's
any
like
sort
2
of social
burritos.
engagement, and
Yeah.
people are probably gonna like it. You know, it's like I said, it's not a gamer's game, but it's more interesting than Uno.
And if you role play it and you
like-
bring actual frozen fish with you and
oh,
slap
that's
people,
true. That is true.
then it's fun for you too.
It is, yeah.
I like
Right
that
like
you-
that. Right
Because
like
it's
this
not
here.
abuse
right
if
like
you
that.
slap someone with a frozen fish. Because you're like, it was in game. It was in game.
Can somebody check the legal?
Don't check because if
Goo-
I
Can
know.
someone Google that?
No, because if they check it and I'm wrong, then I will be forced to I'll know about it. So then it'll be premeditated.
I see.
As of right now,
Ignorance
it's
of
not-
the law is
Yes.
an excuse to break it. Gotcha.
Well, and
yes,
I liked
ignorance of the laws.
the slapping cards, because if you know somebody's like just layered with slap cards, you're like, I'm not gonna mess with that person over there. I'm
But are
just-
you afraid they'll get sued by penguins for all the penguin iconography in this
yeah,
game?
yeah.
like,
uh,
Happy
March of the
F-
Penguins.
that's a
The
good
producers
question.
of March
Happy
of the
Feet,
Penguins.
Surf's Up,
That's a good
Mr. Popper's
question.
Penguins, they're all coming
Yeah,
for you.
probably.
That's some big names.
That's
That's
probably
DreamWorks.
Who
true.
owns the trademark for penguins?
That's probably
I
true.
think Benedict Cumberbatch does. Have you never heard him say the
No.
word penguins?
Well,
No, I don't
He
think I
says
have.
penguins. He can't
Well.
say the word penguin.
he can't be perfect, guys. Okay. He can't
Right,
be
because I
perfect.
am. There's only enough room for one of us.
There's only
All right.
one Cumberbatch in this life, and
Greg.
it's this guy right here.
Would you back
could be the
that?
next
I'm
Cumberbatch.
out. It looks just too random and chaotic. I love that they're doing it. I wish them well. I'm glad that they're funded, but I think I'd play it once or twice. Oh, that was cute, and it would never get played again. I just
Okay.
don't.
Dr. Gloryhogg.
It's-
I'm glad that it's
I'm out.
funded. It's one that I'm not excited to back, but I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we backed it. I'm just afraid it'll go into our small games pile that we don't play very often.
Yeah.
Because we just don't play those ones as much. Because we've got most of our family trained to play stuff like Deception and Hong Kong. You know, I mean, we start bringing heavier games, right? Like at least a Ticket to Ride or something. We start bringing more board games versus card games. And I'm just not as big a fan of
There's
most
a
card
lot
games.
of great.
This is
little
no Skull King.
Exactly.
That's
There's a lot
true.
of great little games that are easy to teach
But
with like.
I
the
don't think
mind
that's
and
the target
illusion.
market for this.
No, it's definitely
The
light
target
play.
market for this is let's go to Target and find a game.
That's the problem,
Not in
though,
the
right?
cool Target game section, in the other Target game section. You
That-
all know what
that's
I'm
the problem
talking
with
about.
Kickstarter,
okay?
though, is that most of Kickstarter
But
is
the only people
hardcore
who are
gamers.
going to see this is gamers. So that's if it's meant for the mainstream.
Not necessarily. I mean, you could have somebody like GameRight or something like that pick this up, and then
Oh,
all of a sudden,
sure.
like, it
That's
goes
true.
gangbusters.
But for now,
like,
the only people who are going to see it are gamers. Is what I'm saying. Because
I think it'll
That's
sell
true.
well in the store,
Target
though.
game shoppers aren't looking on Kickstarter for the next little card game for Thanksgiving.
that's true. But if it gets enough funding and it gets enough like traction, it could
Sure.
easily end up there. And I would say I would rather play this than Uno.
Right, for 15.
yeah, but that's
yeah.
not a.
Well, if
That's-
I'm going
I'd
over
rather
to my
play
parents'
this than
house,
Uno is not
if
exactly.
I'm going over to my
but
parents'
you can
house,
bring the mind.
I'm
or
not
you can
gonna-
bring illusion. There's a lot of good games.
I might not bring the mind, and I might not bring illusion because it's my parents' house. And
to
they
be
might
fair,
not
her
like
mom's
those
good at
games.
games,
My
but-
mom is, but like
But
my
she's
other
talking about,
side of the
like, yeah,
family.
most people's parents and
My other
extended
side of
family.
the
My mom's
family-
good at games, but she'll only play categories. Like,
Some
that's
yeah,
it.
some of the games we bring,
All
we're
she'll
like,
play.
try to play this social deduction game. They're like, too hard. Nope.
I'm playing categories. That's it. I've been
That's
playing
it.
for 20 years, and I'm
That's
not
it.
stopping now.
That's right. But where
Well,
this game would go over well, and it's $15. It's $15.
Right, like I said, I wouldn't be upset if we kickstarted it. I'm just not like it's not going to replace not wacky racers, Hollywood Death Race. I really want Hollywood Death Race, guys. Help me convince her.
You got 2 weeks to talk her into it.
Everyone
I
who
would
gives this
back
video
that.
a like is secretly voting for Hollywood Death Race, and she will back it.
No.
So get your likes in, guys. And if you don't like it, then also use the like symbol. Or a love symbol, I guess.
A love symbol.
Love symbol
right.
if you don't want Hollywood Death Race, like if you do want it.
I would back this game. Moving on, we have Towers of Arkhanos.
Arkhanos. This one was the most interesting thing that you did on Board Game Breakfast, I think. I was super excited about this one and looking at it.
More
Everything
than
I
Death
do
Race?
is interesting on Board Game Breakfast.
It took me looking more at Death Race to... No, I'm saying out of the 4 you did, this was the one
Yeah.
I was most interested in seeing more of.
I love
Well,
this video too.
to
by
be
the way.
fair,
Yeah.
Lovelace and Babbage, I knew we backed that because I remember you talking about that like a month ago or something.
Right,
so
right.
you've been talking about that game and liking it since before it was even on Kickstarter. So I
Since
knew that
before it
was foregone.
cool to like that game.
That's
She's
yeah,
a
right.
hipster.
yeah, I knew that was foregone.
The
For-
original
She's a
foregone.
Lovelace
The
and
original
Babbage-
gamester.
Lovelace and
I know it's
Babbage
done.
hipster.
That's right. This one here had really interesting, it was really interesting
I like
building
the
this
idea
up.
of trapping a meeple in there.
Yeah, and trapping your meeples in there possibly
Something
to
about
like
the way you
limit
said that,
people
it sounds
Trapping a
dirty.
meeple.
because
I,
you're limiting people's
sounds like an After Dark podcast.
what they can do with that. You know, you put your meeple in there, so nobody can use that and that option, and then it's like
She needs to
bam,
stop
you
saying
know.
meeple so much.
And, well,
getting
whatever,
awkward.
whatever.
Well, there's a lot
This
of
is by
meeples in this
Creative
game.
Game Studio. It's for 14 plus, 2 to 4 players, lasts
14
about
players.
20 to 30 minutes. No, 14 plus, 2 to 4 players.
You need 14 or more players? 2 to 4 players, guys. Sorry.
I think
Number 1.
I think that yeah, out of all of them, this one had the newest mechanics that I've seen as far as like limiting what you're choosing
Yeah,
each
because it had
round and
meeple
stuff.
and dice, and I've never seen a game with meeple and dice before.
But
You know
it's-
what?
It's still just
You're
a
about
ba-
ready to get fired from this show, Dr. GloryHogg, okay?
It
We're
is-
going to have to put you on like a
I-
suspension, a show suspension.
We're sending you back to
You're
Idaho.
suspended for 2 shows, sir.
We'll lose all of our female fan base.
All right.
Yikes.
Greg, what did you think of this game?
To me, I didn't think it looked that innovative. It's just a dice drafting game. I mean, there's, I don't know. I think there's a lot of games like this.
I disagree with Greg. I think it looked amazing.
I
and
mean,
it's so
it's
innovative.
a worker placement
Isn't
game.
Sagrada kind of like this? Isn't Dice Hospital kind of like this? I mean, I feel like I just
Well, it's a worker placement game where you
What about
can
Sentient?
change what the mechanics are as the game goes along because you don't have the same options every time.
You upgraded your abilities
Yeah.
and stuff, which is cool, I guess. But it looked really light to me too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And I also
I
felt
think
like-
it is a light game.
I also feel like the coolest part of it, at least
the
from a
towers?
visual standpoint, is building the towers, and it feels like you're going to build them so slowly that you could
You
like
think
finish
so?
the game and your tower's only like 2 things tall, and you're like, I didn't really
Yay.
do the thing.
Well, yeah,
that was
because
cool
even
about
even
this.
3 high isn't that impressive
watched
looking.
the,
I
like-
want it to be like 6, 8
Yeah,
high.
I watched the like 10-minute Rado video, and he
Yeah.
built like 2 levels, and I was like, well, I don't know. It looks too light. It looks similar to other games I've seen. I do like the price point, $35.
I was going to
It's
say
not much of a
$35
gamble.
though.
So, but I'd want to play
That's
it
a lot of
first.
free dice.
I'd want to play it first.
That's true. That's $35 worth of dice and meeples right there.
And you could just build towers of your own.
It's
That's
also
right.
About 4 or
You
5
could
burritos.
actually, technically, you could just take a coaster and you could put like your own
Your own little things on
right.
there.
You can make your
draw
own
'em
game
out.
now that you know how this is done. I am so sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Take the rampage bits and the coasters from
Oh, there you
Skull
go. There
and
you go.
make it yourself.
There you go.
I don't know. It didn't. I didn't get excited by it. I thought the video was cool.
It didn't resonate.
Cool
with you.
presentation. It looked super light, and it looked like it would take too long to do the thing that
That you
brought
want
me
to
in,
do.
which was building those towers. So.
Okay. Okay. Dr. GloryHogg?
I felt it looked a little gimmicky. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a bad game, but I don't think it's an amazing game. Like, there's other ones we've talked about that I'm more excited about.
Okay. Okay. This was a hard week because there were a lot of really good ones that I did like this week. This one had really interesting stuff going on with it, and I do like how during the game you're not going to have all of the same options available, so you kind of have to like change the worker placement portion of the game where, okay, I'm going to go for this. All right, now the kind of board is changed now.
That's
maybe
nice.
gonna go for this option, I feel like that would kind of change how you play as you're going along. I think for $35,
Would you back that?
like, yeah, I mean, for $35, I'm gonna say yes. Yeah, it's $35, guys.
It's
No.
still not free. It's still money. I mean, it's like
Look at all these
Please
beautiful
explain
dice.
that to her more.
it
They're
seems like
so
anything under $35.
beautiful.
She's like, sure, it's $35.
And
like,
if we just do it once a week, it's only like
Yeah.
$200 we spend, and then
All right.
over the course of a year, it's
it's
like we
only
spent
$2,500.
we spent $8,000 on 20 or under games.
I agree. It looks like a light game, but I think for $35, it's worth the gamble of trying it out. Like,
I
it
don't
looks
think
cool.
I don't think it'll disappoint people, but I do think it's not something that it's not what I'm looking for right now. I want something unique
Okay.
to fill these shelves
All
out.
right. Well,
Since these shelves are overfull and they're in another room.
Greg, what was
also.
your favorite thing that you saw this week?
Lovelace and Babbage, but it's only kind of not fair
Lovelace
since I
and
actually
Babbage?
played that one. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
I think my
did
second
too.
favorite would be the Deathrace one. That would be the one I'd be
Deathrace?
most tempted to back
Okay.
besides Lovelace and,
Okay.
and Babbage.
I'm all
Dr.
about
GloryHogg,
Deathrace.
Deathrace.
But that's because Babbage isn't really there because it's already been backed. So that one's like done in my mind.
That
so
one's done. Okay.
Deathrace
Yeah.
out of the three.
Yeah, my favorite, of course, was Lovelace and Babbage because that was just right up my alley. I thought all of these were pretty strong. Out of the
So
other
strong.
three, though, definitely Hollywood Death Race has me really
hear that?
intrigued.
You might get
really
it, buddy.
intrigued by that. So,
Oh, I'm gonna get it.
Oh yeah.
all right, guys, where can we find you at,
She
Greg?
doesn't always have her computer locked.
Hooked on Geek, new episode, audio podcast every Monday. You follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's where you can find me. Give me a follow. Hook us up.
Dr. GloryHogg?
You can check out me and the different games we're playing and stuff on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Look for DrGloryHogg. You'll find me. I spend a lot of time on Facebook, probably the most, but definitely just search out Dr. GloryHogg, and you can find me on Magic Arena, Marvel's Alliance Avengers, all kinds of Marvel Strike Force. I'm
That's
in
right.
games.
That's right.
If you're
And
playing a little game that costs a lot of money, then I'm probably on it.
if you're watching this, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, ring that bell for our weekly shenanigans.
Ring it.
Yeah, that's right. And
Ring
I don't
the
think there's really
bell.
anything else going on.
the bell.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm giving away free Steve
Ooh.
Jackson stuff on the Steve
Ooh.
Jackson Games channel every week. So catch me there on their Facebook channel.
Yeah, you've got to watch
Um,
it to get it. That's how you enter. Is by
Yeah,
being
you got to watch it and then like answer some fun questions. This week we did what was your favorite zombie movie? And you could win the Zombie Horde edition.
Nobody said
Yeah.
World War Z, which was a good zombie movie.
Oh, that's true. That was a really good
or
one.
28 Days Later.
Overall,
somebody said that.
secretly, this is just my way of getting movie suggestions for the
Okay.
month.
Here's mine.
Like, that's what it is.
Spanish movie called Rec, like short for
I've seen that.
record, R-E-C.
Yep, I've seen
Awesome
that one.
movie.
Really?
Super creeps.
Super good zombie movie. It's
Oh,
very
okay.
claustrophobic. They're stuck in like
Ooh.
a
The one I
an
said was
apartment
I said
building.
Warm Bodies because that was the one where it's a zombie who starts
Aw,
to get
that's
his
a
brains
zombie
back.
love story.
Aw,
So
you're
So when he
such a
starts to get his
romantic.
he starts to get his love back when he meets a human.
That's right. Other than that,
He wants to devour
come
the
hang out
flesh.
with us next week. We'll see you guys later.
Subscribe.